I'm Lana Jones with BlueBunnyHollow.com. Today I will be showing you how to embroider on a neckline of a t-shirt. Wash, dry, and press your t-shirt. Place the t-shirt on the scanner glass of your printer. Open the software you use for the scanner. I'm using Adobe Photoshop. Scan an image of the t-shirt into your computer. I like to preview first to make sure the entire glass is selected. As you can see here, I need to adjust the corner handles. Then click Scan. Rotate the image so the neckline is at the top and save it someplace you can find it. Open your embroidery software. I digitize all of my lettering myself. However, for this video, I'm using built-in lettering from my software, as that is what many of you will be using. Today I'll be showing you how this is done with Floriani Total Control U. The steps are pretty easy, so if you have another software, you will be able to do this in the software that you have. In the Floriani software, we select the backdrop tool to locate the image. Find the scanned image and open it into the work area of your software. As you can see, the image isn't totally straight at the neckline. We'll need to rotate it just a bit to make sure it is straight. I'm going to pull down a guideline just above the neckline, and I'm going to go either to the dot at the top, you can see I get a circular arrow, or the dot at the bottom. These are your rotate icons, and I'm going to rotate that just a little bit so that my t-shirt is square. I also want to bring in a guideline from the side to the center so I can see where the center of the t-shirt is. It will depend on the length of your lettering as to where it will start and end. I have seen where some people start the lettering at the center front of the t-shirt and some start the lettering further up the neckline. It is a personal choice and also depends on the length of your lettering. To start the lettering, we need to click Font, then Path. Then left click anywhere in the work area. In the pop-up window, select Path 07. The words My Text is a placeholder. Move this and align it with the curve of the seam in the neckline. It won't be perfect. We will fix that later. In the properties on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see My Text in the text area. Mouse over My Text to highlight it and enter your word. I am using the word Grammy. In height, we're going to change that to 0.75. That is just the height I want it to be. If you want it different, you may put a different size in there, but I found that 0.75 looks great. Click the drop-down arrow and choose your font. I'm going to use Donuts. No other changes at this point. Click Apply. Do you like the placement? If you do, great. If not, move the word higher or lower, wherever you want it to be. You notice the curve is not perfect. The top of the G is closer to the top of the Y. To adjust that curve, we'll go up to the top where the blue dot is, and we'll left click and rotate that so that the G and the Y are about the same distance away from the neck edge. Now, if your word is a little longer and you need to adjust the curve a little bit, We are going to right-click on the line and select Edit Baseline. Now you can see there are points that show up that we can adjust. We can pull them down and up and adjust how the curve is. Notice when we click on that, these little arms come out. That is the Bezier, and that helps you change the curve if you need a little bit more adjustment. I think mine actually turned out pretty good. If you need an additional point on your line for adjusting, right-click on the line and click Add Point, and then use that to make further adjustments. The two M's are a little bit close together. To adjust that, I'm going to hover over the blue, light blue square, and I'm going to push towards the end of the letters to separate that. If I pull it the other way, it brings them close together. If I push it towards the end, it separates the letters. Just a tad bit too much. Okay, and I notice that the G and the R are also a tad bit close together. So I'm going to move the G just a little bit further away from the R. Because these letters are very narrow, we're using very small lettering for this project, we need to change the underlay. Go to the Underlay tab in Properties, uncheck everything that is checked. In this case, it's just parallel. Click Center Line, and then click Apply. What this does is avoids having the underlay poke out from underneath the lettering. Center line is all you need for this small a lettering. Once you're happy with the adjustments, save your design. If you are doing a longer word, you may need to use Rotate, width and height adjustment handles, or change the angle of the letters. So you just want to play to see what looks best for the word you chose. Always do a test stitch on woven fabric to make sure the lettering stitches properly before stitching on a stretchy fabric. If you embroider on the t-shirt without testing and it does not stitch well, you won't know what is causing the issue. Was it the digitizing? Was the t-shirt hooped properly? Perhaps the wrong stabilizer? Get a good test stitch on woven fabric to make sure the digitizing is perfect. Then test stitch on scrap t-shirt fabric to see if it will stitch well on the t-shirt. Ensure the design has a selection box around it so you can see the center mark. Select the ruler in the software and measure from the center guideline to the center of the design. Mine measures 2.91. Write this down as this will be used to help place the target paper on the t-shirt. What is target paper? Print and stick target paper from Dime is an adhesive template that you print from the software with an image of the design and the center markings. It is repositionable and can be used multiple times and leaves no residue. Click File, then Print Preview to see the image of the design with center markings. There will be 2 pages. You only need to print the first page. Measure and mark the center of your t-shirt. This will help you with placement of the target paper. Using the measurement we wrote down from the software, measure from the center line towards the right edge of the ruler. Mark this line. Remove the paper backing from the target paper and place it at the neckline of the t-shirt, using the markings of the template and the lines just drawn. Finger press in place. Using the lines on the template, mark the horizontal line. Make sure both centering lines are extended so they reach the hoop notches. Normally, I would stiffen my t-shirt with Terrial Magic for an embroidery. However, this design is small and a cutaway stabilizer will work just fine. Cut a piece of stabilizer large enough for the hoop. Because there is no material in the upper left corner due to the neckline curve, we want the stabilizer to fill that corner to support the t-shirt and the embroidery. Turn the t-shirt wrong side out. Spray the stabilizer with temporary spray adhesive. Place the stabilizer over the left side of the t-shirt. Make sure it is high enough to fill the entire hoop. Turn the t-shirt right side out. Place the hoop on the t-shirt and match the notches of the hoop with the drawn centering lines and complete the hooping process. Open the design on the embroidery machine. Notice the orientation of the designs are different from the screen and the hooped t-shirt. Rotate the design on the screen of the embroidery machine so it matches how you have hooped the t-shirt. Thread the machine with the color you want to use. I'm using white. The design is showing red so I can see it on the screen as white is hard to see. I do have to correct the color on the machine. The color I want to use is on spool pin number 2. To correct this, I will use the features of the machine to simply swap where the machine sees the red. Now let's scan the image in so we can line up the design with the scanned image. Just a bit off. Use the movement icon to align the design with the image. Perfect. Remove the sticker from the t-shirt and start the embroidery. Looks great! Unhoop the t-shirt. Turn it inside out. Using a chenille cutter, there are several on the market, or scissors, cut away the excess stabilizer. Remove the centering marks. Wow, the design looks great along the neckline of this t-shirt. Here's the Grammy t-shirt, and here's a t-shirt I did with a longer word. They both look great. Thank you for joining me today, and enjoy your sewing adventures.